to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's happening in our city. I'm Lindsay Paris. It's springtime and the outdoors beckons, so what an excellent season to get out and enjoy the city's 25 miles of wooded trails, perhaps followed up by a fun night out at a stand-up comedy show. You'll see both of these topics profiled on the show later on. But first, from ballads in Baltimore to narratives in New Orleans to couplets in California. The Vagabond Poetry Caravan National Tour is hitting the road on May 1st, and it all begins right here in Haverhill. You may have seen the tour's big red bus, nicknamed Furtherer, hitting the streets in town. But the bus is now off on a 6,500-mile cross-country route with over 100 poets participating along the way. I joined founder and National Beat Poet Laureate and Haverhill resident, Mark Lipman, for a behind-the-scenes look at the Poetry Caravan. Poetry is for everyone, as you might remember from your high school English class. But a love of the craft often comes from seeing it performed live, which is an opportunity not always easily found. However, this year that is all changing with the Poetry Caravan National Tour led by Mark Lipman of Haverhill. Mark, thanks so much for inviting us here to get on the bus with you.
Hey, thanks so much, Lindsay, for being here. And I'm so excited to be here with you and the community to show off our new bus that's going really across the country in a whole new way. We're connecting community after community on poetry, arts, culture, and this all starts here in Haverhill. This last year, I was named the U.S. National Beat Poet Laureate. For my tenure, I wanted to do something to help lift up poetry that's going to let us dream again, to let us be inspired. If I can do this, perhaps that can inspire other people to follow their dreams as well.
How long have you been involved in poetry? Did it start in that high school English class or did it come from somewhere else?
No, actually it's a funny story. Back in 2000, 2001, I met a man called George Whitman, who was the owner of the Shakespeare and Company bookstore in Paris. And I had just published my first novel. I brought the book to him and I said, George, hey, take a look at this. And he looks at me and says, oh, this is great. Do you need a place to live? There's an antiquarian section, and this was my room. Around 10,000 rare books, a little cot bed, and a window that opened up to Notre Dame.
Wow, could I go live there?
Exactly. This was really my indoctrination into a real beat poetry life. This is where I met Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and I started going on tour with him through Italy and Europe. And I've been building poetry networks for the last 20 plus years, both nationally and internationally. This just feels like the natural next step for me. When I got the bus, then I started saying, well, I'm gonna go on a national tour. And I met these other poets who said, well, we wanna go with you. We're traveling 6,500 miles on this tour to dozens of cities involving hundreds of poets. From Haverhill, we're going down to New Orleans, we're going up to Chicago, we're going across the Dakotas, down through Yellowstone to Denver, to Albuquerque, across Los Angeles and up to Oregon, who knows where from there.
Amazing. Yeah, so cool in here. So you're going to be living on the bus as well, correct?
Well, that's the brilliant part of this. I've got my transportation, I've got my housing, and I've got my stage all in one place. This is a converted 2010 International school bus. It's a 27-foot school bus, so it used to be a 47-seater. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I went there, I thought I had no chance of getting this, but when I saw the bus, I knew this was the perfect vehicle. For the last 6 months or so, I've been getting this ready. Why don't you come on back and check out the rest of the bus over here? So here's the captain's quarters. It's all insulated, so it stays actually about 10 degrees warmer here at night. And I've got basically all the things that I need. I've got a working sink over here, so I built this out. And this is actually a shower compartment here. I've got a little wood stove. I got a bed here. I've got bunk beds. So we can actually sleep 4 to 5 people in here. Plus we're having a caravan. We've got the bus plus 2 other vans, so they're going to have their sleeping situations in there too. We're going to be working with maybe a dozen or so people traveling with us at any given time. So the big selling point for me, something that I had to have with this bus, was the wheelchair lift, okay? And it's not exactly what you think it is, because this is going to be the stage for the bus. So we can actually go anywhere and have a stage right here where we can perform at. As Kabul is wiped off the map, as the Palestinian follows in the footsteps of the Native American, gone with the echoes of 1,000 mothers' cries, everyone asking, why? Not for freedom, not for democracy, but for a new kingdom ruled by philanthropy. Yes, blood is thicker than water, but not as thick as oil. How many must still be killed to keep the drills alive? Where are the new Ginsbergs, the new Dylans with their cut-up jeans and backpacks? Where are all the great minds of today? Whitman's wild children are all alive and well, so get on your buses all going further and let your voices be heard. The great thing about poetry is there are no rules.
Okay.
And that's with anything in the arts. It's as a poet, as a musician, as an artist, and it's searching for your voice to say what you have to say to this world. The way that you find your voice is where the art comes in, because everyone is unique and everyone has the potential of doing this.
So you're heading out on the road in just a few weeks. When does your trip end?
Oh.
Is it kind of like open?
Never ends.
It never.
Well, it's a dream in the happening. I'd had the dream of getting a bus like this for a couple decades now. And all of the pieces lined up. I found the right vehicle, it was the right timing, I had the right situation to be able to get this going, but it's something that I've been working towards. Now, there's a thing here, is that what does it take to succeed? Everything. It takes everything. If you want to succeed in accomplishing and achieving your dream, it takes you everything, but it's so worth it. When you invest yourself into believing in what your vision is, others start believing in you too.
It's so gratifying to see such a unique dream realized and opening minds to the spoken word on such a scale. Follow the Caravan's journey online at vagabondpoetrycaravan.blogspot.com or at the Vagabond Poetry Caravan Facebook page to see what the Big Red Bus has been up to and for upcoming cities and dates. The city of Haverhill has a multitude of open green spaces for fishing, hiking, playing, and more, some of which are not commonly known about. The Journal's Cassie Ellson recently met up with staff from the city's conservation department to learn what they and their dedicated base of volunteers and partners have been doing to promote and enhance these natural treasures.
When most people think of Haverhill, they often picture our historic downtown district first. With its old brick buildings, those delicious restaurants, and that gorgeous view of the river. It's a great location for an entertaining night out, but downtown's not all that Haverhill has to offer for fun. Haverhill is a big city with a whole lot of publicly accessible conservation areas that both residents and visitors can enjoy in a variety of ways. Hiking, hunting, fishing, swimming, and more. So, as the weather's finally starting to warm up, I figured this would be the perfect time to visit some of those locations, talk to the people who maintain these beautiful open spaces, and find out about all the cool outdoor opportunities available right here in Haverhill. For those interested in exploring some of Haverhill's scenic trail systems, but weren't sure where to begin, Let's Hike Haverhill may very well be the best place to start. Let's Hike Haverhill is a monthly series of free guided hikes put on by the Essex County Greenbelt Association in partnership with Team Haverhill. Each hike visits a different location within Haverhill, with this month's hike bringing us to the Crystal Gorge Trailhead in the Crystal Lake Conservation Area, and it was guided by Rachel Horgan, Greenbelt's Director of Development and Community Engagement. Not only was this hike a nice chance to exercise and learn our way around the Crystal Gorge properties, the Haverhill Conservation Department paired up with local environmental scientist Amy Nelson to give a presentation on vernal pools and the creatures that live in these habitats.
Something that really piqued my interest about vernal pools was when I took my children to a Mass Audubon event and learned a lot about vernal pools, and that got me interested in educating my kids and youth in general about what vernal pools are and why they're so interesting. And so then, as a Haverhill resident, I reached out to Rob at the Haverhill Conservation Commission saying, hey, do you do any of these types of educational events for vernal pools? And Rob said, no, but would you like to help us with one? So that's why I'm here today, and hopefully we'll just keep doing more of these youth and environmental education events.
More information about future Let's Hike Haverhill events can be found on the Essex County Greenbelt Association's website at ecga.org. If fishing is more your speed, you'll be glad to hear that Mass Wildlife has been restocking the fish population in many local fishing spots throughout the state, and this includes Haverhill. This year, they even put on a special event at Plug Pond for the kids on school vacation, giving them a hands-on chance to get up close and personal with the fish and help deposit them into the water.
Today we're out here at Plug Pond. I guess we had a great trout stocking event put on by Mass Wildlife. So it was very exciting that this year they picked Haverhill. I reached out to them about a year ago, just via email. I didn't really have a contact, and sure enough, they scheduled Haverhill this year. So I was delighted to see it, and as you can see, probably behind me, you have kids out there fishing already and hopefully catching their first fish. It was a great event. You saw how many, hundreds of people that were here today, and all those kids just delighted to get a chance to see fish up close and to kind of throw them in the lake. So the weather was perfect. It's just been a great experience. It's a fantastic thing for the community. It brings in people from all around the area to come and take advantage of what Haverhill has to offer from an outdoor recreation standpoint.
Around 450 brown trout were rehomed into Lake Saltonstall, also known as Plug Pond. Haverhill's open spaces wouldn't be the same without its dedicated base of volunteers helping to maintain the beauty and safety of these environments. To aid the wonderful work already being done by members of the Haverhill Trails Volunteers Group, the Conservation Department has recently begun rolling out a new Haverhill Trail Stewardship Program. This Trail Stewardship Program was first pitched to the community at Team Haverhill's Possible Dreams event in March, with its mission being to reach out to the established user base already regularly visiting the Haverhill's trails, reaching out to the people who know these areas the best. More info on these volunteer opportunities, or for more information in general about Haverhill's open spaces, can be found on the Conservation Department's page on the City of Haverhill's website. As you can see, the City of Haverhill has so much to offer for outdoor recreation, and we're so thankful for the fantastic people working hard to help give us that experience. So, I hope to see you out on the trails soon.
The Conservation Department is seeking new volunteers for its Trail Stewardship Program, caring for the city's trail network. Find out more about volunteering and helping to keep these vital trails maintained at the Conservation Department website or call 978-374-2334. I mentioned stand-up comedy earlier on, and did you think stand-up comedy here in Haverhill? Believe it or not, the stand-up scene here is thriving, with comedians and audiences coming all the way from Boston and beyond to enjoy local laughs. HC Media's Dave Shultz stopped by a stand-up show at downtown's Crosstown for more details and a few laughs.
During the late 70s and 80s, the city of Boston witnessed a stand-up comedy explosion. Not just in the number of places where you could go see stand-up comedy, but in the number of young, new comedians taking stage for the very first time. Our city of Haverhill might just be on the verge of something very similar.
Hey there, my name is Maxwell Shultz. I've been running stand-up comedy in Haverhill, Massachusetts for about 4 years, and I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 10 and a half. I run Malice Comedy, and we do shows at the Tap. We do shows at Crosstown, down 4 doors down from the Tap, and then I've got other select places. But there's just this want for a comedy scene in Massachusetts that isn't Boston, and it's working here.
Let me explain something to you. I am up here telling you stories that happen in my real everyday life, and you're all laughing at me. it is, but this area, people just seem to gravitate toward comedy. Every time I do a room around here, it just packs out. People flow in, they enjoy it, and they just seem to have a good time enjoying comedy here in Haverhill.
Before I get rolling here, I just wanted to say, if I leave in the middle of my set, please don't be alarmed. I'm also door dashing right now, and this is a hot spot. Everybody needs a side hustle nowadays.
Haverhill is definitely the place to be for stand-up comedy. We got Crosstown. There's a few other comedy spots right around this area. It's really a good time, and everybody's super kind and helpful with each other.
It's just a nice environment, and we all laugh and have a good time and eat some pizza or whatever we do and go from there. And I think that that's part of the allure of the Haverhill scene, is a lot of places don't have that kind of warmness to it.
I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, my parents, alcoholics, the both of them. It's great. Yeah, but they're alcoholics in different ways. Like my mom quit drinking when I was 15. It was very hard for her to do. I'm very proud of her. It's a testament to her willpower, you know? My dad, on the other hand, is fun to hang out with.
And it's become like a really good melting pot of a lot of comedians from the area have started to come here too. There are comedians from Lawrence and Lowell, closer to Boston, that have all started to come here, so it's a mix of both.
The amount of talent that comes in and out of this city for stand-up right now is remarkable. One of the shows I personally was running maybe a month and a half ago in Haverhill, we had like more than half of the ticket buyers ahead of time were from Boston, and they drove an hour north to see a show in Haverhill, and that's pretty cool.
There are stand-up comedy shows at least 5 nights a week somewhere in Haverhill, sometimes as many as 7 nights a week at Crosstown and other venues. The Haverhill Public Library's annual Comic-Con event is happening on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 4 p.m. This free day of all things comic-related has something for everyone, with events ranging from an escape room to Padawan training to Japanese anime to a cosplay contest and so much more, with over 35 presenters and vendors. Costumes are not required for this family-friendly event, but they are encouraged. To see the full lineup, visit haverhillpl.org/HPLCon or stop in at the library. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@haverhillcommunitytv.org. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our HC Media YouTube channel. And that's what's happening in Haverhill this month. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll see you next time with more of Haverhill's best stories. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.